It's 11:59 at Radio Free America, and this is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache.
Hello everyone, Mike here from EDC Patrol. Hope you're all doing well. God bless you. Thank you for stopping by. A while back, I had a subscriber, a long-time subscriber, and a few other people has asked me to do, a series on people that are older, that still want to be able to resist and do things. And that's fine. We'll do that as long as we go forward and understand. I don't use the term militia. You can if you like. It's not a bad thing. It's what it was. But older people, even in the day, they weren't really militia. They were patriots. I guess they were Minutemen. Not really Minutemen, militia, different things. But in modern terms, it'd be more like a resistance group, guerrilla, because that's really what you are. And that's how the Army has, in the last several years and modern times, has deemed people when certain units went in places and taught people how to do things to resist tyranny. Kind of like some people have done from America and different countries to help the Ukraine. Look what they're doing. These are ragtag people with a few volunteers, a very basic step in the beginning, and they held off a large army. So going into this and understanding you have a role, even in World War II, the resistance, the French resistance, Dutch underground, and all the different ones, what was the others? The Norwegian resistance, the Norwegian underground, different ones like that. They were older people that would walk along, doing nothing, just walking along. They were making mental notes. They would get off somewhere, and they would always have a piece of paper and a pencil and write it down. Or they would keep those notes thought in their head, what they saw, how much they saw, what they seen, where they seen it, get back to wherever they're going, then write it down and hide it. When they get with their other common friends, is how we're going to refer our MAGA group or your mutual assurance friends, they would get together and share notes. They would go off and share their notes with other people that they trust. Here's the key word, trust. That's a hard thing. Trust is earned. Okay? So the things they can do, like I said, the biggest thing, a lot of people think it's going to be, when that happens, if things happen, a lot of these young guys are, God bless them, youth, they think they're going to be and there's not all of them, but there's some that thinks they're going to go out there and kick doors in. Those are not resistance or guerrilla groups or patriots. Those are thugs. Let's call it what it is. If you're kicking somebody's door down and take their stuff, you're no better than the enemy, and you will be treated and dealt with like the enemy. So, to my resistance and freedom fighters, here's what I say. The biggest thing that most people, including the militia guys, the biggest thing is going to be scouting. 99% is going to be scouting and reconnaissance. That's what I did in the Army. When I first went in, 19D was just coming in. We were known, some of us became, after same schooling, depending on what unit you were going to, you became either 19D or, like I, in my case, 11D. And then later on, they switched it and we all became 19D with different designations like 19D, 11M, mechanized infantry, then so forth, as you got ASIs and SQIs or QSIs. Anyway, so reconnaissance and scouting, that's the biggest thing. Gathering supplies, that is a key big thing. Even in big army, big Marines, the guy with the deuce and half or whatever, or the 5-ton coming with your chow and bullets, God bless them. Those guys were brave. Even during World War II, the Bread Ball Express, man. Patton stopped. He didn't have food, or not much food, and out of fuel. It was the Red Ball Express. Those supply guys in those trucks that did the thankless job. Excuse me. Shotzi. Sorry, my little dachshund. Luft. Supply. Scouting, reconnaissance. Scouting and reconnaissance is the same thing. I'll mention it, or we can just call it recondo. Whatever you like to call it. Recon, scouting. That's the biggest thing. Supplies. Gathering supplies, moving your supplies around, setting them wherever with your group and friends. And that's something else. Trying to get people to understand. People that you can trust. To gather a group, a small group, even a small group, 5, 10 people, that's enough. That's enough to hold your area. Whether you're in a city, suburb, somewhere between the suburb and country, or in the country. Get with like-minded people. That's a big key thing, and it's hard. But biggest thing I tell people is, let them know you're not taking over anything or trying to undo anything or anything else. You're just trying to protect what's yours. The other thing, Shotzi, what are you doing? Hang on, folks. There's many. Mein Dutchland. Platz. Danke. Try to do scouting, reconnaissance, recondo. It's all the same. Looking and see what's in your area. Because if you know what's going on, that's going to be a key thing. Supplies. Your supply people. Gathering supplies. Gathering medical supplies as well. First aid kits. Making first aid kits. You guys see me do those little small pocket first aid kits. This is my little sling pack I carry when I go out. You guys have seen one just like that. Like I told you, I had many of these. This was on our Y harness back when I went in. It had field dressing. And then some of us made up a little pocket first aid kit to keep down in our pockets. But back to what was going on. No matter what your age is, if you can walk, you can do something. If you can't walk, God bless you, and I'm sorry. But you can still make patches for cleaning guns. You can take old sheets, white sheets, cut them up in 2x2s and 4x4s. Wash them in non-detergent bleach, regular bleach, not the concentrator, not just regular household bleach. Wash them, don't put no fabric softener or nothing in them. Dry them, cut them up in 2x2 or 4x4 sheets, put them down in baggies, mark it on the outside, bandages. If you cut them up smaller, you got patches for cleaning guns. And you can use colors for cleaning your guns. T-shirts, anything. You can use old white T-shirts to make patches, you know, for gauze and stuff like that for your first aid as well. Not just sheets and pillowcases. And it's a very handy thing you can do. If you can't walk well, you can listen to a radio, monitor radio for your group. Practice, get out and practice. Say a Friday evening, before you go to bingo parlor or whatever, get on your little walkie-talkie, whether it's GMRS or MERS, whatever. Couple go for walking, the person that don't walk well, sit there and monitor. You get to a certain corner, okay, and you call it whatever you want. We're at point A. Can you hear me, Bob? This is Bob. I hear you fine, Charlie. Okay. And then you move on until you get back. And you'll make a map of your area. As you're walking, learn to pace it, how far it is to different points, like the big elm down the street, halfway down the street, the big elm on the left side. That could be a mark post. What you're doing is you're mapping out your area. This way, if you have to funnel people, you know how far to go. What the distance is. Because whatever your weapon you're going to use, you want to know the distance, if it's going to work or not. Okay. Weapons. A lot of the younger guys, and some people in the middle age, they're going to holler and scream AR, 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 AR. That might not be the right thing for you. The right thing for you may be some sort of shotgun, because that's what you can afford, and that's what you can handle. It may be an AR in 5.56. It may be a 22 rifle, and don't laugh, a 22 rifle, especially with this new ammo they got out, a little bolt action 22 rifle for $150, buy some extra magazines, you're set. Take it out somewhere to your aunts, uncles, cousins, somebody's got property. Take it out and shoot it a few times a year. Always keep it clean. Clean your weapon every so often. Once a month, take it out and wipe it down. Make sure it's clean. Make sure it functions. You don't have to fire it, but make sure the bolt and everything works and it's clean. It's not got rust on it. On your supplies. This is something everybody should be doing in their home. Look at your food. Make sure the cans ain't swollen. They're not rusted. Your packaged stuff is dry. I did a thing a while back, a test, to prove something to somebody, and I'll have to roll that in somewhere in this series. It was a tuna come in a package, and it had expired a year ago. I ate it. I'm still here. I'm not sick from it. Why? It wasn't leaking. It hadn't been poked. And I've read many, what do you call them, experts on this stuff. Stuff works. When I first went in, we still had MCIs. Combat Individual. It's stuff, same stuff they had in Vietnam, which goes all the way back to World War II. It's just the updated version of the C-racks for you older people that knows what that is. But we had what they call MCIs. It was canned goods, packaged goods that was, you know, tuna, whatever, chicken, maybe in a can. As long as it wasn't rusted and swollen, you were good to go. That's something else. On supplies, you can make your own MREs. Buy Spam. Buy dried cereal. I don't know how many times I used to carry a pack of oatmeal with brown sugar in it, shake it up, eat it, drink some water as you're going along. Granola bars. Buy granola bars. Them things last forever. Almost like a modern hardtack, if you know what that is. So, there's things you can do just because you're getting older. Doesn't count you out. Remember, no matter what your age is, the biggest thing is going to be scouting and reconnaissance, or recondo. Scouting and reconnaissance, okay? Supplies. First aid, learning to do basic first aid. Gathering supplies between you and your friends. Gathering other people that are like-minded that you totally trust. Get out and walk. Pace, you know, down to the big elm, halfway down the street. Oh, well, that's, I'm going to pick a number, 103 steps. What is your pace count for every... You can do it in metric or you can do it in standard. You can look it up online, I'm sure, with everything online now. As a scout, I used to be able to do imperial, what we call U.S. imperial measurement, and I could do it in metric because most military stuff is done in metric. How many paces is it down to that big elm? How many paces is it down to the corner or to the T? Going this way, how many paces is it to the curb in the road or the big bush? Okay. Something else on radios. I know people want to talk a long ways, but you may not want to talk a long ways. Might be better, loose lips sink ships. Remember that? Get your little GMRS radio or a MERS. GMRS, you're supposed to have a license. I would not buy the little bubble pack radios from Wally World. They're crap. Somebody in the group knows how to run computers. You can buy that, get a hold of that chirp. You can buy these little 888s and program them for whatever channels you want on GMRS. When you get an antenna, get a short one. Okay? But if you're running GMRS, make sure it's GMRS antenna. It's tuned, it works better. Remember, a long antenna is going to transmit a long way, and a lot of people's going to hear you. But you want it long enough to be able to transmit. This antenna right here will transmit roughly a half mile. And that's about to the extent of it. After a half mile, it's... But in the neighborhood or something like that, that's perfect. Or you can get a little GMRS 701G, and that'll talk any place and every place you want to talk. Or get like the Baopeng you guys see me, the GMRS Baopeng UB5 Pro G, get something like that. Learn to work it. Get you a monocular. Get you a small monocular. That's all you need for doing reconnaissance. You're hiding in where between houses and you're watching things and things go down. Like I said on firearms, get something that you can afford for one. Two, you feel comfortable with. Get with somebody, if you've not fired a weapon before, get with somebody that knows what you're doing. Former military, former police. Get with a little group somewhere that teaches this stuff. Basic fundamentals. You older veterans, maybe fired weapon, but it's been a while, go out somewhere and practice. And then teach your friends. But whatever weapon you choose, don't let somebody tell you it's not good enough. 22, especially with this modern ammo, it'll do the trick. You can buy a little Rossi bolt action 22 with, magazine, $150. Buy extra magazine, buy ammo, go out and practice, learn to clean it, buy a cleaning kit. Whatever, caliber you're using, AR, AK, SKS, shotgun, M1 carbine, like me, or a 9mm carbine of some brand. That's another thing I carry a lot of. 9mm carbine, that's good out to 150 yards. What I call combat effect, able to hit a man-sized target 150 yards. It's stronger and will go through further, but not everybody's going to be bench resting. So out to 150 yards, but that's plenty. You think about that. That's 3 football fields in a neighborhood. That's a long ways. And it will stop somebody, especially coming out of carbine at more velocity. Get a little flashlight. You guys have seen me do the different things on EDC and stuff, but I'm going to cut this for now because this is probably getting long-winded, but this is the introduction to older people and resistance groups. So we'll see you down the road on the next go. This is Old Top. God bless you. Top out.